speak because it wouldn't be Leslie if I didn't babble on. So many...
Just like her father.
Just like her father. Many people will remember Lou Rauscher for his infectious smile and his warm and welcoming charm. Many of us will remember him for his avid storytelling, even if we'd heard the stories thousands of times. Many of us remember him as a passionate, colorful, vocabularied golfer, an all things sports lover, and an email inbox overloader. Over the past 3 weeks, I've been really moved by the outpouring of support that the family has received, as well as to be reminded just how many lives he had touched. I say reminded is because we celebrated his 80th 6 years ago, and I did a little book and people sent in stories then, it's just being reiterated again. But what I'm grateful for is that usually these things happen after someone's gone, and he was able to know before he was gone how many people loved him and how many lives he touched. So when I think of how he has impacted my life, I think the word that comes to mind is pride. And this is why. I don't know, I'm going to speak for my sisters too and family as well, but he was an honorable man. He fulfilled every obligation that he undertook. His word was his bond and everybody knew it. He held everybody to the word.
Oh. Now we have...
Oh,
That's good.
I've got 70 people.
That's cute.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, this is my work.
Nothing
my
embarrassing.
No, there's no alcohol.
I like that.
So I do have you guys with me every day. So.
Oh.
He was honest, and I don't remember him ever telling lies or intentionally deceive anyone, except maybe when he would say things didn't cost as much as they really did, because he really wanted that really nice backpack. It was really only a bargain at $50. But in any case, it seemed very fitting because he was a proud Marine, so very honorable. Everyone's looking over my shoulder.
It was Bert. It was a picture of Rugby and Bert.
I should run the other slideshow. My dad, Lou Rauscher, was a self-made man from his education all the way into his career. He had an unwavering work ethic and was an engineer to the core. Not just in his personal life in the semiconductor industry, but at home with projects that he and my mom would tackle. You'd be amazed by the simple improvements that you'd see around the house to everyday things. And they used to talk in engineer speak. Lou Rauscher was a proud man. He was proud of his job, his achievements, and his company that he built, but he was most proud of his family. He would tell everybody he met about his family, who they were, what they did, where they lived. Recently, I think every hospital staff person knew everything about our family. When asked how many, he would carefully list them off: his 3 daughters, his 2 son-in-laws, his 4 grandkids, his 6 great-grandchildren. He was a really proud patriarch, and I think it was evidenced. You know, he has a big, fun, happy smile, but when you see the pictures with his grandkids, there's a deeper twinkle in his eye, and he's just very proud. He was a very supportive and encouraging man. With Mom and all her many projects and her accomplishments, he loved her dearly and was committed to making her happy. If it was important to her, it became important to him. With the grandkids and their education, he always, knew their majors, what endeavors they were doing, and always asked what they were pursuing. If they were interviewing for a job, he asked and always, was interested. If the college that they attended had any type of sports team, could guarantee you would be watching that game. Didn't matter. Dad would be on the sofa cheering loudly and proudly. He embraced his technology. Talked about this the other day. He grew with the advancement of the technology, even though he was, ripe old 86. He was eager to show he could keep up with everything. He had that HD 3D TV with the glasses. Yeah. When he got it, in the 80s, it was the right channel check, left channel check. Look how great the surround sound was. Anyone that came over, we had to listen to. And then even though it took 3 remotes to operate a television, it's good. He had a love for digital cameras. One was never enough, always had to have the better one. And then he took his Photoshop classes so he could edit out the phone pole. Yeah. He even sold things on eBay. I didn't know if you knew this. I don't know how to sell sell things on eBay. I think it's very cumbersome, so I couldn't be bothered to do it, but he did. He never went to a restaurant reservation without his piece of paper from Open Table. Print out the reservation. And I'm like, Dad, you don't need it. No. We enjoyed his Skype conversations with the family. We had some pictures of a Thanksgiving that we shared over Skype. He was on Facebook. And something I find very amusing is at Semicon West this year, I go up to greet my parents, because he was in the semiconductor industry. He came to all but 2 semicons. Mom's pushing him in the chair, and he's on his mobile app, looking up where, Henkel is. And they're in whatever booth, so how come this isn't working? But he was using the mobile app, which is, I don't think, very bad for maybe a 6-year-old. We have people in our industry that won't use the mobile app because it's too complicated, and we're a technology show, so anyway. He was a charming man. He was stubborn and temperamental, but he had that magic charm. Maybe it was all the sharp clothes he wore and this, special aftershave. But, we'd go on trips and flight attendants would grumble at us because we wanted some water. But he wanted anything, fall at the feet. Yes, Mr. Roush, whatever you need, Mr. Roush. Pumping gas at the gas station, Mom went to go and get something from Safeway and comes out and there's a lady giving him her phone number. This was, recently. Last year. People would go around Safeway and be like, oh, you smell good. Because he always had his aftershave. So. Who knew Lincoln was such a hub of I guess there's lots of single women there, I don't know. Yeah. So my mom comes out, yes, can I help you? Yeah. He was a generous man.
She just said, I just moved in here, I need some friends. Oh, okay.
Dad was really generous, even though he was a child of the Depression. He understood the value of the dollar, the importance of saving it, but he certainly enjoyed to spend it. Not just on the material things, but on a lot of experiences for us, for himself. It afforded him opportunities to travel and doing the thing he loved the best in his annual golf trips. He would go twice a year, once to Scotland and once to Australia, New Zealand. He enjoyed in later life to go on cruises, always remembering where his friends were around the world to try and kind of meet up with them on the tail end of a cruise or before. As we were looking for the charity donations this year, we looked, he has this meticulously kept file of all the charities he supported. He supported 135 every year. But not all at once. He was very, he doled it out slowly. But, I think the generosity he expressed with his money matched in his generosity and his spirit. He didn't appear to have an intense relationship with one best buddy, best friend, but the vast number of people who called Lou Rauscher a friend is inspiring. There's many. I guess for 86, you'd hope to meet many, but I'd be honored to have that many friends. He loved to travel and he loved to eat. He had the amazing ability to recall as many trips from his times in the Marines to his many business trips, detailing out the exact meal he ate on the exact day in 1952 when he was in, Cuba. His most recent big trip was a trip to Venice in Spain. It was significant because he said to me and Mom that he'd always wanted to go there ever since he was a little kid, which for him was kind of a long time. But Italy's pretty old. But he did manage also to catch up with some dear friends this last trip that he made with Mom, with and without luggage. He enjoyed his drink, namely whiskey, as we saw, wine, and the occasional gin. Whiskey was poured almost every night with a very specific way. There's always wine with every dinner. And I'd say, hey, Dad, we're having crab for dinner. Without skipping a beat, he'd say, great, pick out the wine. On the occasional time, he would order a beef feeder on the rocks. And many might remember that he would close with a very particular, very resounding, no fruit. And God help the poor soul who came back with a lemon twist. No fruit. He was also humbled and grateful for the very full and rich life that he had. He couldn't believe what he had done to deserve everything that he had and was lucky enough to have experienced and all the love that surrounded him. I'm, like I said, very grateful that he actually knew the people who cared for him. He was a man who will be deeply missed. His friends will miss his corny jokes, his beaming smile, and his company. Many people mention that he was one of the good guys. Sorry. So close to the end. His grandchildren will miss his many stories and his fearless, adventurous spirit. Maybe I should have sat down. My mother will sorely miss her best friend, and I will miss my father, the source of my convictions and my inspiration. Okay. Anyway, he taught us many, many things. Gosh, I'm sorry. He taught us how to embrace and appreciate every opportunity that was presented to us. Never to be afraid to try something new, whether it was a new project or something new on the menu. He loved humbly and unconditionally. And he had to live life. He taught us how to live with passion and zeal. And so I think it's important that, damn it, stupid poem. Oh, here it is.
It's a hobble.
This happened the other day and I hobbled. Yeah.
Schön.
So no, there's a poem that actually was given to me by my best friend from when I was 6. And we adapted it a little bit, but it's called He Is Gone. And I think it's helped me kind of deal with it. So we can shed the tears that he is gone, or we can smile that he lived. We can close our eyes and pray that he'll come back, or we can open our eyes and see that what he has left us. Our heart can be empty because we can't see him, or we can be full of the love that we shared. We can turn our back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or we can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. We can remember him and only that he is gone, or we can cherish his memory and let it live on. We can cry and close our mind and be empty and turn our backs, or we can do what he would want, and that's to smile, open our eyes, love, and go on. So, I guess we should have ended with a toast.